Thanks for tuning into the Texas Scratch King channel. In this video you will hear about Lee's champion Reno Register of Merit. Let us begin. Reno was born at Ronald Boyles on July 9, 1984. His father was Holland's Grand Champion Cherokee Chief ROM. His mother was Boyles' Dirty Mary ROM. This was Ronald's second litter-off Dirty Mary. When she was first acquired from Pat Patrick, she was bred to Patrick's 4 Bits. This was a small litter that included Chainsaw Red, the mother of limited edition ROM. The litter-off Cherokee Chief and Dirty Mary was a large one. I believe Dirty Mary raised 12 pups. Ronald told me that, because it was so large, he ended up losing track of several of the pups that he had from it. Even so, it included Champion, Bolt Action ROM, Champion Mr. Rogers, Champion, Reno ROM, Lugnet and Crankshaft. Reno spent his youth with Santos Fred. Fred was a serious dogman who was located in the same general vicinity as Ronald. Reno looked good in his early roles and soon established himself as a top prospect. His basic style was to bury himself in the other dog's chest and stay there as much as possible. He was very strong with a lot of mouth and was able to overpower many considerably larger dogs. After winning a couple off-chain matches, Fred matched Reno, winning with him against a dog out of southern Florida called Popeye at 41 pounds. As expected, Reno buried himself in Popeye's chest and ended it in about 45 minutes. Fred was so impressed with Reno that he decided to match him into Champion Flint. The only problem was that the match was to be at 38 pounds. Now Fred knew that this was likely to be a struggle since Reno had always been kept butterball fat at Fred's house. Fred being a butcher, Reno was kept on a diet of mainly meat and ate quite well. Probably generally weighing in the mid to high 40s. For the match, Reno came in at this lighter weight looking very drawn down. Even so, he was able to do quite a bit of damage to Flint during the course of the match, which went about 1 hour and 50 minutes. As often happens with such significant weight loss, Reno ran out of gas after most of his damage early. At the end of the contest, Reno went into a seizure and collapsed in his corner. Flint scratched to win with Reno unable to stand. After the match, Reno recovered while Flint's owner was unable to save him. When we talked about this match, Fred was very emphatic that this match should not have been a loss for Reno. He said that Flint's final scratch was most certainly a foul. Flint was in very bad shape, barely able to keep his feet. When released, he staggered along the wall and had to be guided by his handler's knee several times in order to find his way to Reno's corner. Fred asked for a foul since Flint's handler had both touched his dog and left his corner in the process. This foul was disallowed by the referee, who was a friend of Flint's owner. Fred said that this criticism was not meant to take away from Flint's gameness, but that he didn't feel that Flint could have completed his scratch on his own and the match should have been a draw. After a rest, Santos Fred took Reno back up to 41 pounds and matched him into a group from the Tampa area. Once again, Reno dominated, winning in his usual style in about 40 minutes. The next match was into Murphy's Pac-Man. Again at 40 pounds. Pac-Man was an Eli-bred dog. Reno totally overpowered Pac-Man, staying in his chest for most of the 30 minutes the match lasted until Pac-Man gave it up. Reno's next contest was against Rebel's Chocolate Soldier, a one-time winner off Diamond Jim's Luther and Patrick's Angel Face, a sister to Dirty Mary Register of Merit. Here again, Reno was taken below 40 pounds, coming in at about 38. This match went much like the one with Champion Flint. Reno got ahead early, ran out of gas and went into a seizure at around the hour 30 mark. Reno recovered from the seizure in about 15 to 20 minutes and was okay afterwards. Chocolate Soldier, however, never did recover from what he took from Reno. At this point it seems worth mentioning that while no one will ever know why Reno went into these seizures, I have seen this happen to human athletes that are drawn very fine when participating in endurance activities. I believe it has to do with burning muscle tissue for energy and toxic byproducts that result. The only time Reno had these seizures was when he was taken below 40 pounds. In all the times he competed at above 40 pounds, he never had a problem. After this match, Fred had a few personal problems and turned Reno over to a friend of his named Space Cowboy. Space Cowboy was known as one of the best conditioners and handlers in that part of the country. He took Reno back up in weight and immediately challenged Ricky Jones at 43 pounds. Jones was very confident, feeling that Reno was a cur because of his failure to scratch in his 2 earlier matches against Flint and Chocolate Soldier. He made numerous statements to this effect to his friends. Ricky's Bandito was outclassed and was in serious trouble from about 15 minutes on. Ricky, noted for being less than the consummate sportsman in the square, Tried tricks such as dribbling spit into Reno's nose to make him release his hold. Finally, in desperation, Ricky started pounding on the rug in front of Reno's face, raising considerable dust in the process. After a bit of this, and not getting much resistance out of Bandito, Reno released him and bit Ricky on the wrist, breaking an expensive watch in the process. Infuriated, Ricky pulled out a knife and threatened to cut Reno's throat. Santos Fred, at pit's side, commented that Ricky wasn't the only one with a knife, and Ricky apparently decided that it might not be the thing to do after all. Ricky finally picked up at about 42 minutes. He demanded that Space Cowboy courtesy scratch Reno, saying that if he didn't he was going to report that he was a cur. Space Cowboy didn't normally believe in courtesy scratching when the other dog was picked up to be saved from a certain killing, but finally tossed Reno back into the pit from the outside. Reno fell on his face, then started towards Bandito, who promptly headed in the other direction. After this match, Reno was sold and retired to stud. To date, he has produced 6 champions and numerous other good dogs. At this time he still has a lot of young dogs on the ground and is likely he will end up with a couple more. He's still alive and in good health, but has not produced any pups in over a year. After a bit of this and not getting much resistance out of Bandito, Reno released him and bit Ricky on the wrist, breaking an expensive watch in the process. Infuriated, Ricky pulled out a knife and threatened to cut Reno's throat. Santos Fred, at pit's side, commented that Ricky wasn't the only one with a knife, and Ricky apparently decided that it might not be the thing to do after all. Ricky finally picked up at about 42 minutes. He demanded that Space Cowboy courtesy scratch Reno, saying that if he didn't he was going to report that he was a cur. Space Cowboy didn't normally believe in courtesy scratching when the other dog was picked up to be saved from a certain killing, but finally tossed Reno back into the pit from the outside. Reno fell on his face, then started towards Bandito, who promptly headed in the other direction. After this match, Reno was sold and retired to stud. To date, he has produced 6 champions and numerous other good dogs. At this time he still has a lot of young dogs on the ground and is likely he will end up with a couple more. He's still alive and in good health, but has not produced any pups in over a year. Thanks again for listening to the Texas Scratch King channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video. Until the next time my friends, as we always say, never submit to life and keep scratching every time.